fashion.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, yo, set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like the Brown James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. The field's not falling for the FOMO. Listening to coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum entities. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Body.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Breaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, miny, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. So had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
GM, welcome to Coffee with Captain. I'm Cap, no co-host today, but we are, as always, open show here, open space. I don't even know what I'm saying. Open stage here on the show. If you'd like to join the conversation, have any thoughts, questions, throw a request in. We're happy to get you up here, or if you want to join us on stage, add your comments, questions, and more in the chats. We are live on X Spaces as well as X Video and YouTube and Abstract. GM to those YouTube GMers, Thomas, Absolute Zero, Yori, and Mike. Appreciate you all over there. Hit that like and subscribe. There's more of you over there than have liked the show this morning, so smash that like button. And we did get one. We didn't get our 2. We were shooting for 2 new subs yesterday. We did get 1. So whoever you are, appreciate you very much. If you've not yet liked the channel, head over to YouTube real quick. I'm going to pin it up top if you haven't found it yet. You can also just search Coffee with Captain, or it is pinned up top right now, along with the Abstract link. Well, both those are always the same link. You can bookmark them for future reference. And then also posting up top the reminder for tomorrow's show. Go smash that reminder as we are warming up. Speaking of warming up, yes, Izzy, there is a new alien warmed up. His name is Wemby, or some prefer the proper name, Wembanyama. Wembanyama. I don't know. I can't pronounce that this morning. Normally good with these NBA names like Giannis Antetokounmpo, who I think Giannis has to be. It seems like a very quiet trade market. And if I'm an NBA GM, I mean, I don't know how you tend to compete in this league without someone who can guard Wemby. And Giannis is maybe it's not Chet. Wemby's out to destroy Chet. I think it's a life mission of his. Goes way back to like the U19 days. And another time Wemby should have won MVP, and in that case lost to Chet, who I think scored 10 points against him. Anyways, if you missed the game last night, it was incredible. I obviously missed it way past my bedtime, so I'm not saying for that. But first thing I did this morning, even pre-gym, was catch the highlights and did not disappoint. Back and forth game, and Wembanyama hit a shot from the logo, very reminiscent of one that Curry hit against the Thunder 10 years ago. They also, I know Hizzy's out in the chat and a fan of Hakeem. The last performance like this following a MVP snub was Hakeem going for 40 and 20. Who won? Who did they give MVP to that year? I should know this. I just saw it, but yeah, the government. Steve calls it the government's coming out with these UFO files. The first alien they're going to reveal is Wemby. He is. Yeah, I just like I said, I would love to see a Cavs Spurs final. And before I go, as long as the Cavs don't win, because I want to see LeBron in Cleveland, and the Cavs having to win this year, he's not going to go back to Cleveland, or he's not going to go to New York if one of those teams win. I have virtually zero concern of that happening. I think either the Spurs or the Thunder probably sweeps either of those teams from the East. Maybe goes 5, at best 6 games, but they're far superior teams. And the fact that Wemby is 22, the Spurs are really not the youngest team in the Eastern Conference Finals in any finals in 40 years. They're younger. The Spurs team they wrote out last night is younger than the team that won a national championship for Michigan this past year in college basketball. They're younger than the team that won the NCAA championship. And they have a real life alien, a guy who's 7'5" and hits 30 footers with ice in his veins. Gives me chills thinking about it. In fact, now does it give me chills? I have some cards. I collected as a kid, got back in a little bit into cardboard during the pandemic. And then I found NFTs, and I really haven't bought any cardboard since NFTs, since Top Shot, and then went down this collectible route. I haven't had a desire to collect Ohtani cards, even knowing that he is on the way to becoming modern day GOAT. What he's doing is the only person in history, in over 100-year history of Major League Baseball, the only person that is even in the ballpark, pun intended, of what he's doing, both hitting and pitching, is Babe Ruth. He could go down as the greatest pitcher of this generation, in addition to the greatest hitter of this generation. And I still don't have desire to go collect Ohtani cards. I want some Wemby cards. I want a Wemby rookie. I don't know what even the entry level, not a Grail, not a 6-figure Wembyana Panini card, the NFT that just sold recently. But what's even an entry level Wemby rookie card? Perfect guy on stage to ask. Joey, how much is a Wemby rookie card going to set me back? The base level, entry level model.
Yeah, so I mentioned this in the war room. I want the Spurs to win, but then selfishly, I don't want them to win, because if they win, his cards will just become untouchable.
Yep.
And I don't own enough of his cards at this point. But you can get, if you want a PSA 10, right? So if you're gonna go for something that, not a PSA 9, not a PSA 8, if you want a PSA 10 and you want a rookie card, there are cards out there that you can get for $80 to $120. But these are base inserts. These are there's nothing special about these cards. And their price probably isn't going to move much. If you're talking about getting a select concourse, cracked ice card or something like that, one of these, refractor or something like that, you're looking in like the 3 to 350 range. And then obviously, if you want to go after rookie cards with autos and things like that, you're talking thousands and like I think I've seen a base auto recently in like the 1,500 to 1,800 range. And mind you, he hasn't won an MVP, he hasn't won a championship. Like people are just betting on the fact that he's going to have a very long, successful career. And if he wins this year, those numbers are going to go because the numbers are already gone. Like if you look at what a Wemby, I could send you like an image because I was looking to actually buy 4 Wemby rookie cards a week ago, and now I regret it because I was being very stubborn on the price. If you look at what his cards have done just in the last, call it 3 weeks, you would feel like it's a dangerous buy. But now, after what he did game 1 and the real opportunity to actually get to the finals and win, I can't imagine what those cards are going to do. Like they've doubled in the last like month.
That's what I was going to guess. I said I was going to guess that they probably nearly doubled just in this playoff run. And actually after last night, like if you look at like the current chart, if there's like a daily price chart, I'm guessing sales today after his performance last. I know it's just one game, but it's a legacy game in the playoffs, in the Western Conference Finals against the defending champions. And it's a legacy game in the sense, like it's one of those games that people will talk about. Let's assume he has a career, he wins multiple titles.
If they win the series, yes. If they win the series, this is a game.
Yeah, exactly. If they don't win the series, maybe people forget about it. But if they win the series, this is like, it's hard to say a player of his stature, no pun intended. It's hard to say like a player of Wemby's caliber, one who is, even if you don't think he's potentially the next face of the league, if you don't think he's him, he's still in, like, I think unquestionably the top 5 players in the league currently, and unanimous defensive player of the year. Like, it's hard to say like he had a breakout game, a come up game. I don't know, man. I think last night was it. The stat line alone, and then you add in the 30-footer from the logo with the game on the line.
Shot, the dunk.
Yeah, just incredible. The images of, I saw some funny posts I'll pull up here in a second, but they called him like
Cap, as an example, what his cards have done, like normally a lot of people typically say like when a season ends, there's usually like a 30% drop. So like we've seen that with some of the other NBA players, like, Cooper Flag, Concanopoulos, like these rookies that were so hot during the season ends, like some of their stuff starts to drop. And a lot of people were not confident in the Spurs actually winning this year. A lot of people thought it was going to be OKC, and they're like, oh, there'll be a 20%, 15, 30% drop, whatever it is, after the Spurs get eliminated. So a lot of people were not buying. Like I know a huge sports card guy. He owns a business. He was not buying Wemby's. He's like, I can't buy them. I'm just going to wait till the season ends and they're going to drop. And now I bet you he's waking up this morning and doing the same thing I said, which is, I wish I would have bought all of those Wemby's.
Yeah, I got to go check now. I think I have. I did not have heading over to NBA Top Shot on my agenda today. I can't even remember. It's probably been well over a year since I've even logged into Top Shot, despite having far too much of a bag remaining on there. I think there
was a one Wemby card listed on BZ. It's a CGC 10. So it's not even a PSA 10. It's a green shock. It was listed on BZ for $130. Last sale was $110. I bought it this morning for $130. I didn't care that I was overpaying after last sale. I was like, and it's a rookie. And I didn't care. I paid it.
A rookie card so you're telling me I can't get a rookie card for $100 to $200?
Yeah, there are rookie card. Again, there are rookie cards like inserts. There's a lot of inserts. Like he's got one that's called the bank. Like they did this one called Bank Shot, where it's like the players like have like dollar signs. And there's another one. He's on another rookie card it's called the splash card. Like I could have bought that card last week for $80. It's a PSA 10, right? Like, so there's a lot of insert type base cards that you can get if you just want to own Wemby rookies and just sit on them. There's a lot you can get. How much are they going to go up? I don't know.
So first time logging into Top Shot in a while, and yeah, I am definitely in full FOMO mode over Wemby. And yeah, and Mike, you're right. Babe Ruth did not steal bases like Shohei. He's like Shohei Ohtani's a one of one. I think Wemby's a one of one.
The crazy part is, like you said, and I said it in the war room, the Spurs have all of the opportunity to be the new NBA dynasty. That team, Dylan Harper's 20 years old. Steven Castle's 22 years old. Wemby's 23 years old. Vassell is 24 years old. Even De'Aaron Fox, who's the veteran of the team, is only 28 years old. And they won that game last night without De'Aaron Fox.
Yeah.
So they started rookie Dylan Harper at 20 years old, who was the second leading scorer, had 11 rebounds, 6 assists as a 20-year-old rookie in the Western Conference Finals. You cannot look at this Spurs team and say that like they're not what the Warriors could have were, right? Like they drafted all of these players like the Warriors did,
except for Fox.
And they are just set up for the next 5+10 years, you know.
Except for Fox. Fox came from Sacramento, right? Am I thinking of the right one?
Yeah, he's the only. But I'm saying Steven Vassell, Champagny, however you say his name, Vassell, Pagny, Champagny, Steven Castle, Wemby, Harper. These are all guys that were drafted.
I wish I could. Is anyone want to trade me a Chet for a Wemby? I would do that in a heartbeat right now. I've got 2 Chet rookie debut moments and no Wembys, unfortunately. Top sale $5,500. Jesus. $15 is basically what they're going for. That's awesome, man. I shouldn't. I'm not trying to like. This platform is just not great. I don't know why I have $47 on Top Shot either. Hopefully they're not feeing me to death or something for not having idle funds. I do have a top 1% Top Shot score though, top 0.08%. I would trade my whole top. I would probably trade my entire Top Shot bag, 146 moments, for one Wemby rookie card, a good one. I don't even know what I'm claiming. I got playoff points. Great. They had such an opportunity here, first to market. Oh, we lost Joey. With not just NBA collectibles, but just like where they were. Again, this is bad. I should be doing this real time because I haven't been on the site for over a year. So maybe some of this stuff is cool and new, and I guess you can earn points now. This is, I'm guessing, like their loyalty points platform, and you can cash those out for packs and stuff. So I guess cool.
You should be cashing out all of those points for any basketball packs to try to hit a Wemby.
Yeah. Well, I should do like trading credits, trade all these players for try to get some Wembys. I'm just trying to it took me forever to even see if I have any. Like, it's just, what is this? What am I even looking at here?
But to your point with so as an example, you could have bought a Stephen Curry rookie card. Now, no one knew Stephen Curry would become who he became, but like when Steph Curry was a rookie, you could have bought his rookie cards for like $35, $50. Now they're $35,000. So like this idea of like overpaying for a Wemby rookie right now isn't that crazy, considering like when you look at the explosion of somebody like a Steph Curry, or even like, people kind of knew who Ohtani was, and they expected greatness. Did they expect this kind of greatness? No. But, going back, even Aaron Judge, like you could have got an Aaron Judge rookie in 2017. And like, so the idea that we're only 3 years in, and like, are we okay with overpaying a little bit for a Wemby card? Yes. I think he's proved to us it's worth to overpay if you're okay with holding it for the next 10, 15 years and what he can become.
Yeah, I realized we missed it. Man, if Wemby would have came into the league a year earlier, he would have been in that initial run of Top Shot moments. I would probably have one because I did have. I mean, I still to this day have the full Top Shot pack, or sorry, Jesus, Cool Cats set, and you know, I bought an Anthony Edwards. That still how somehow the first NFT I bought on there is that wasn't a pack, was Anthony Edwards rookie that is up from the price I bought it at. I got a Halliburton rookie. I've got a LaMelo in addition to the LaMelo Cool Cat. I got a LaMelo rookie. Just a shame. Missed opportunities by me for sure. But my bigger point is that he is him, and I really yes, he's got to win the title. If he wins the title, I think you're absolutely right, Joey. I think his rookie cards, the guy's 22. He's 22 years old. It is crazy to think he, like, put it in perspective. Now he's not one, so he's got a ways to go still. It's a long series, and then he still has to win another one. But Jordan won his first title at 28. LeBron won his first one at 27. And if you missed it, I'll quickly show the shot he hit on the screen. You got to remember this guy.
Spurs got numbers hungry now behind the plate. 5-on-4. Wemby's going to pull a deep three. Oh my goodness. A logo shot. 28-footer. Ties it at 108. Spurs got.
He's 7'5". 7'5". Like, not that you're not supposed to move that way. They're not supposed to hit shots like that. He's we've never seen it before. And yeah, I think if they win a title this year, I think his card's double from where they're at right now. And if he
I bought a lot of Dylan Harper cap because I just believed that he was going to be not like, if Dylan Harper wasn't on the Spurs, I wouldn't have bought a lot of Dylan Harper. But with him being on the Spurs, with Wemby and what Wemby can be, I bought a lot of Dylan Harper rookie cards this year that I am not touching because of what I saw. To the same point of what I saw last night with him as the starter next to Wemby, he could be that guy next to Wemby for the next 10 years. And I can only imagine what his rookie cards could do. They're not going to be like Wemby, but the kid's 20 years old. And look at the talent he has. What did he put up? 27, 11, and 6, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, you know much more about the card market than I do. I just think, like, I saw someone say, like, we need
to
to
buy Wemby's. I'm saying you should buy Wemby's.
Well,
I'm saying I took a bet on Dylan Harper this year.
And it's probably a good bet as well. I just found out today. Today I learned that it's Ron Harper's kid. Did you know this? Were you aware, Joey?
Yeah, I heard you. You said it's Ron Harper's kid. Yeah.
Yeah, I saw, because I found out because I saw a viral post that said, how long do you think it took Ron Harper to realize he made a mistake by putting the junior on the wrong kid's name? So he's got Ron Harper Jr., who's not nearly as good as Dylan Hooper, or Harper, excuse me, Hooper. And Dylan is the younger brother who is already surpassed Ron Harper Jr. Anyways, this, Joey, don't put that out in the universe. Don't put that out in the universe. I'm not even going to say it out loud. I'm not going to say it on stream because that's the biggest variable. I think it's not only like, I'll say this.
Is he talking about his health?
If Wemby stays healthy, if he plays at this level, forget 20 years, forget like a LeBron-like run. If he plays at this level for 10 years, I don't see how he doesn't not only win multiple defensive players of the year, win multiple MVPs, and win multiple titles. Like, if he plays at this level for the next 10 years, I would put the over-under at 3. Actually, put it over-under at 3.5 titles, and I would take the over. So winning 4 times in the next decade is a lot. I think it's, especially with the core young team they have around him, and I think part of it is they have a really good team around him, but they don't have. I don't think, anyways. Again, I don't follow the sport that closely, but I don't think, and that's the other thing. Like Diablo said, he won't play at this level. He's going to improve a lot if he stays healthy. Yeah, I don't see. He's going to get better, and this team, it's like I don't feel. It's the Spurs. They're a great coached organization, a well-ran organization, and the team they surrounded him with, like they don't. I don't feel as if any of them need to be the star, right? It's like they don't need the ball. They don't, and nor does Wemby feel like he's a guy unless it's a game like they've got to win. Like he doesn't need to be shooting 30 times a game. Like I don't see like, like the whole Shaq and Kobe drama. Like they both wanted to be the guy. Kyrie and LeBron. Like I said, I think yesterday, like, man, what if Kyrie and LeBron had stayed together in Cleveland for another 10 years? Kyrie wanted to be the guy. He wanted to go in without LeBron. I don't know if any of these Spurs players have that like ego, I guess, about them to where
that's the impact of Greg Popovich still being there.
I agree.
And what he built with the previous Spurs team. Like there was Dylan Harper got interviewed and they asked him, how does he feel about coming off the bench? And now, obviously, he started last night. But how did he feel about being the sixth man? You know who's there? Manu Ginobili as well on that coaching staff with Greg Popovich. And he had like a viral comment where he said, like, learning from Manu and like being that guy coming off the bench and da-da-da. He's like, I'm happy because I want my team to win. And like that's the type of team that they've built. To your point, where you've got guys that have bought into the system. Like no one's talking about the Spurs head coach and like how an incredible job he's done. Like this is not just the players. This is proof that this organization, right? Like looking back what they did when they had Tim Duncan and Tony Parker and Manu Ginobili and all those guys, like Greg Popovich has to go down now as one of the best, if not top 3 coaches, team builders, GMs, whatever you want to call it, with what he's been able to do now. Now they still need to win, but if they do, that's 2 dynasties he's essentially built.
I need pain I can't get in the brain of the Wemby haters. Like, well, he already missed half a season. Last night was the most minutes he played in a long time. But yeah, he's 22. Isn't load balancing the norm, especially for 22-year-old stars? Like, the guy puts up insane lines plays 25 minutes a game and has the best stat line in the game often. Yeah, I agree. It's not, there's so many factors. I think that why it makes me so bullish on Wemby is he's not playing for a second-rate organization. Like I agree with Von Brent. Spurs have had a solid team for 30 years. You know how they went about their business. They just continue. Like, they build the right way. And I'm trying to think, have they even done, like in the era of the super teams, I think it's almost all of it's been homegrown, no? Like,
yeah, they didn't. The Spurs dynasty, which nobody talks about. I don't know why they don't get talked about.
Well, because of Jordan. It's because of Jordan.
Bull got talked about.
Yeah, it's because of Jordan. Jordan. When was this?
I mean, doesn't Tim Duncan have like 4 or 5 NBA? How many championships does Tim Duncan have?
From 99 to 2014.
Riggs made a comment in the war room about how like Duncan was like boring or whatever, right? And I don't disagree. He was like that's why they called him like, didn't they call him like the big fundamentalist or something or whatever? Like he had like a boring nickname because all he did was just go about his business. But like that Spurs team is one of the best dynasties of all time. It started with David Robinson, Tim Duncan, right? Then they added Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and they never added really any like huge stars to that team. It was all just like role players with Manu Ginobili coming off the bench and Tony Parker and Tim Duncan.
Yep. They won the first title in 99, second championship in 03, then the third in 05, the fourth in 07, and the fifth 7 years later in 14 when they defeated the Heat.
How many guys have 5 NBA championships? Like Can't be that many.
I think, yeah, Duncan won 5. He was there for all 5 of those. The Duncan was very boring, very ho hum. And when did Jordan retire? I think the problem is he gets lost in the conversation of, so Jordan retired in 2003. So he was like the end of the Jordan era. And then Jordan handed the torch off to LeBron for all intents and purposes. Yeah, you have the Kobe, Shaq era. Kobe and Shaq were much flashier than Duncan. And then you get LeBron coming in. I think it's just easy to forget a guy like Duncan, but he just got business done. Like, he was good. I think the difference with Wemby, and so Peyton did respond, he says, not a Wemby hater, probably just the heavy glazing. How do you not glaze a guy after a game like last night? But he said he used to love, still does, Jokic, but nobody liked him because he was boring, but he was dominant and he's won. He has been dominant. He's only won 1 title. He's gotten bounced in the playoffs early. And it's not just like it's not just saying that it looks like he doesn't care. Like, he self-admittedly doesn't really care about the game. Like, he does. He gets his job done, but he's just as excited to get knocked out of the playoffs in the first round and go home and race horses. He doesn't have that. We were talking yesterday, Kobe was a killer. He doesn't have that killer instinct. He doesn't, when Jokic is on the court, it's not like, oh, we're going to lose today because we're facing Jokic. He's really good. He's an incredible passer, but just doesn't have that aura about him like Jordan had, like Kobe had, Shaq had, LeBron has. And I think Wemby has it, man. Like, Wemby loves the game, seemingly loves the game. He's insanely intelligent and a fierce competitor. Like, that's, I think to be the face of the like, and it's all started like talking about the face of the league. Is Duncan just, yeah, but he was never gonna, I don't think, gonna be like the face of the league, like Jordan, who came before him, and Braun, who came after him. I think Wemby is the closest thing we've seen to the face of the league since LeBron entered the league. And someone also said we need to stop throwing around generational talent, because we've seen 3 in the last 40 years. Generational talent is number 1 overall draft picks. We've seen 3 in the last 40 years. It was Shaq, LeBron, and now Wemby. And yeah, we do. I agree. We do need to, he's young. He's 22. So will he still be playing with this fierce competitiveness at the age of 30? I don't know. I do think that's where LeBron has trumped everyone in the sport, is playing at this level for so long. It's insanely impressive. And yeah, I get a guy who's built like this at 7'5". Like, health is a real concern, but it's also like you've got at least like a playbook on how to get there now, right? You're not going to be out smoking cigars and drinking, till 4 a.m. It's you spend $1 million a year on your body, and you go the LeBron, the Tom Brady route, and it's possible. Again, you still need some good, some run good. You still need to stay healthy. All that matters, but I'm excited. It gets me. It's the first thing in a long time. Like, yeah, Jokic, I respect the numbers he was putting up. He was a fun DFS play. Never really got me excited or wanting to watch the NBA. I literally woke up. The first thing I did this morning was go and watch the highlights. I was Googled Spurs just to see, and then it's like, holy cow, that would have been a game maybe worth staying up for, or attempting to.
So that's the thing. He's exciting to watch.
Exactly.
Right? Like, even if they don't win, when he's in the game, he's exciting. Like, what the type of blocks. Didn't he have a game early on in the playoffs? I don't think it was, maybe it was game 1 of the Western Conference quarters.
You nailed it.
He had like 13 blocks.
Yep. He's exciting, and it's something we've never seen before. Like, you could debate till we're blue in the face who's the GOAT over Jordan or LeBron. I think on people on both sides that would agree that Jordan did things we never saw before in sport, let alone on the basketball court. You can say the same thing for LeBron. LeBron's done things that we've never seen before in sport. Wemby is doing things that we've like. The only other person I can think of that I've seen as a enjoyer of sports that like were this like awe-inspiring, it would have been Shaq. Like Shaq breaking backboards, and like Shaq was so dominant in his prime that Hack-a-Shaq became a thing. Not flopping like SGA. By the way, we were talking about his plus minus last night. They were +8 with SGA off the floor, -10, I think, -15 maybe with him on the floor. Like biggest fraud of an MVP of all time, especially when you got a guy like Wemby who just put him in his place. But that's another story. Yeah, Shaq was
just on the injury risk thing. Like I'm not that concerned. Again, I'm not a doctor, but I'm not that concerned with Wemby's injuries because unlike Yao Ming was like, correct me if I'm wrong, but he was like 350 pounds or something. Like he was like a huge man.
Yep.
That was 7'4" or whatever it was. And kind of the same thing we saw with Greg Oden, right? Like
yep.
These were like very large men. Same thing with Joel Embiid, right? Like these guys are very heavy and their joints couldn't handle the load. Where Wemby, he's 7'4" or 7'5", but he's lanky. So like he doesn't have that weight that like it's sad because Yao Ming could have been one of the best.
Yao was 7'6", weighed 310.
Yeah, like that's a lot of weight.
Wemby is
like
Wemby is 7'5" and weighs 235. So yeah, I hear you, and yeah, it's not the weight on his body and his bones, but it's almost so far in the other direction that he's like he looks frail. Like for a guy that's 7'5" and for someone that weighs 235 pounds, he looks like he weighs less than me because he's so freaking tall. It's they this is just Google, but because he's still in his early years, their people are projecting his mature playing weight to eventually settle between 245 and 250 to optimize strength while preserving his agility. I'll tell you this, man, if Dort goes after him tonight, I will personally have some grudge against our friend Dort just because he goes by his namesake. Like that is my biggest concern is not a freak injury, but a dirty play. Someone takes him out by a dirty play and changes the trajectory of his career. I'll be pissed and I will hold it against our friend Dort for supporting Lou Dort.
You should look up a picture of what Giannis looked like at 22 years old.
Oh, I remember. That was Giannis. Giannis at 22 was the peak of my NBA DFS degeneracy. When Giannis's prime, I had anywhere from $1,000 to $2,500 in play every single night in NBA DFS. It sounds extremely degenerate to say that out loud. Most of that was house money. I would just similar story. I kept reinvesting profits, and there was times I could have walked from the game with up solid six figures, but that's how the casinos get built. That's how these $1 billion casinos get built is the winners feel like that, you hit a NBA DFS, you run hot and you hit a couple like 10, 20K scores. You think you've solved the game. And you don't. Like it is that is variance for you.
I think the fact that he's only 22, like we forget he's still a kid. Like he's got time to get in the gym and put on some muscle. Again, yes, Giannis isn't 7'5", but people forget Giannis was like a string bean and then put on all this muscle. So like I think I think he's got time. The way that health and technology, like healthcare technology, is advanced. There's an injury risk for everyone in basketball. I mean, I remember a couple of years ago watching what was his name, the white guy that signed the huge contract with the Celtics, and he went up for that dunk and broke his leg, and now his career went, and he signed a massive contract.
Gordon Hayward,
right? He was supposed to be sign a monster contract with the Celtics, and they expected him to be like the next guy in the NBA.
I don't know about that. And he was an all-star.
Landing.
Yeah, he was an all-star. He was never Wemby. He was never even Giannis. Giannis, by the way,
But
now
what I'm saying is there's always a chance, right? Like we don't want anybody to get hurt. But there's
Giannis.
just you play a sport that's so explosive that there's always a chance something can happen. We pray that none of these guys get hurt and none of their careers get ruined. But like it's the nature of being a professional athlete, right? Like
Giannis was 190 pounds as a rookie. He's now 243. To answer your question.
Massive. He's a massive guy now. Oh, and the Lakers, I read an article that apparently LeBron James, for the first time in his career, has publicly stated he's willing to take a pay cut and that everybody on the Lakers roster is available except for Luka to get a Giannis trade done for his last year. So it'd be like LeBron, Giannis, and Luka making a final. I don't know how accurate that is. Like, you read stuff and it's like, but that's what I read, is that he's actually said he's willing to take a pay cut for this final next season to get a trade done to get Giannis on the roster, and that the only person untouchable on the roster is Luka.
And so Luka and LeBron. Yeah,
he wants Giannis to come in with him and Luka to go for a run next year. This is what I read. Again, you read a lot of things. Who knows if it's accurate or not? But
That'd be
that's
fun.
what I had read like literally yesterday or the day before.
That'd be fun. And as much as I want to see LeBron go back to Cleveland, take their current roster, lose no one, add LeBron, I still don't know if they can hang with the Spurs. That's how dominant I think this Spurs team is. Like, their average age is like 22 years old. They have a kid that's starting that looks great, and he can't even legally drink yet. Like, it is bonkers how good this Spurs team could be. And many people who are close to the league say it's just one game. They're not even as good as the Thunder, but gotta love a 43-minute cold open.
Didn't they beat the Thunder 3 times this season?
They did, yeah. Wemby has a personal vendetta against Chet. Like, it's also another thing. Like, we need good rivalries. We had Magic and Bird. We had Jordan versus the Pistons. We need a good rivalry, and for like the LeBron era, I guess you would say the Warriors. I guess it was LeBron, Steph, but now they've become more like friends, I feel, than fierce competitors or hated rivals. Again, for the face of the league, you kind of need that villain, and I don't know. I think Wemby's so much better than Chet, in my opinion, that maybe it doesn't hold, but Wemby definitely dislikes Chet with something fierce. Let's do this. I saw we had a couple of Bagel and Smoke and Jay both jumped up. They probably want to get in here on this Wemby conversation. It's amazing we can turn a 5-minute cold open into 45 minutes of a cold open for a sport I don't even watch anymore, but Wemby's that good. Bagel, GM, what brought you up this morning?
Yeah, what's going on, man? No, I like the conversation. I definitely want to weigh in on it. Like, Wemby is definitely something we haven't seen before, and I really like the conversation about, the concerns about his health. And I do think they're valid for quite a few reasons. But one of the things that I don't think was mentioned, and one of the reasons why I'm actually like bullish on his health overall, is because, kind of like Joey said, it's a very explosive sport, but Wemby does not have a wildly explosive style of gameplay. He's not an explosive finisher by nature. He's not going up and down the court, putting down dunks, jumping off of one foot. And that's kind of what makes LeBron such a special case of, like, taking care of your body and maintaining good health. I mean, obviously he dumps millions of dollars into his body, but like, Wemby is not going to have to deal with this. But where my concern lies actually does kind of pertain a little bit to his weight. And although he's probably going to end up putting on some muscle, at his height, it's never going to actually be enough. So I don't think he's going to be able to sustain, defensive player of the year metrics his whole career. But I think as an offensive player, he is going to be able to sustain that for his entire career, because if you're just taking a lot of contact in the paint, I just wonder how much your knee is going to be able to take if you don't have a lot of muscle around your legs like that. So I'm a little bit concerned from the defensive standpoint, but from an offensive standpoint, it's completely unique. I think he'll be able to move the way he does now. I think he'll be able to do it the rest of his career. And I'm actually very bullish on his health because of the way he plays the game. It's just not nearly as explosive as some of the other big guys in the league. And I think that's one of those things that's going to make him super sustainable.
Yeah, good take. I think I agree. It's also just like, he looks so different that I get the injury concern. I really hope for it would be great for the game. I mean, I'm not even a hyperbole. We get Wemby playing like this healthy for 10, 15 years, quite literally could save the NBA. Like, I think the NBA is heading the wrong direction. I think like it's so refreshing to go from the SGA thunder flopping, foul baiting to this. It's like it is night and day. Like, I just don't know, as a fan of sport, as a fan of entertainment, how you can watch a Thunder game where they just, and last night wasn't bad, but like their normal game where it's just flopping, foul baiting, and like what go from that to watching what we saw last night. And I rather watch the Thunder play. That style of game is much more entertaining. It's like you can't look me in the straight face and tell me you believe that.
No, it's completely absurd, and it definitely brings like a fresh kind of entertainment to the league. For one of the most important reasons being that anybody who's kind of like a day-to-day NBA fan, I would probably agree with you that the direction of the league is not good. I mean, and my biggest issue with it is that it's a fraternity. Like, these guys are like laughing with each other when they're losing in the playoffs.
Yep.
Like, you see that in the regular season, you're like, oh, okay, that's not going to happen in the playoffs anymore. But then you see it literally happening. Teams getting blown out 40 points, and the superstar of the team is shaking hands with the opposition. Like, it sucks. It's kind of a joke. And these guys are making so much money. It's like they almost don't have to care. But Wemby is just such a strong competitor, and I just don't think that any dollar amount is gonna change how he feels about that. And I think part of the reason why he's being bred into this kind of player is because he's being coached by Pop. And just it really just makes a huge difference when you're under the wing of that kind of guy, and he's able to kind of groom you into the type of unselfish ball player, really just strong competitor. I mean, he really has the heart of a lion as a player, and it's just awesome to see. It's so refreshing, and I couldn't agree with you more. It's going to make a huge dent in the league in the best way possible if he can stay healthy and become the new face of the league, because we really, really need kind of like a change of leadership in that sense, because it's a players' league. I mean, Adam Silver has pretty much no control over this, and the types of things that he does feel like he has control over, there's massive flops. All these like mid-season tournaments, I'm sorry, I think it's terrible. And it's just, he clearly has no control over it, just either not listening to fans or just catering to players too much. So we really need a player like Wemby to kind of like reset the NBA scene.
Yeah, couldn't agree more. Perfectly said. And you unpacked it for me. That's, I think at the core, is he an alien? Is he doing things we've never seen before in the court? Yes. He's also a fierce competitor. I'm not like, part of it is, and I don't mean this disrespectful, but I think part of it is like the LeBron effect of like, LeBron's just like a friendly guy, and he became friends with all these players in the league, and he's played for so long, and they all look up to him, and he's just, other than Dylan Brooks, like LeBron is, even like I said, like LeBron versus Steph was like, they didn't play the same position, like, but that battle was something. And then since then, it's like, maybe it's because of like LeBron's age, and it's like he's like the elder statesman, and it's like no one wants to disrespect LeBron or upset LeBron. It's like, I don't know, man. Like, to me, there was just something about when Jordan locked in, when Kobe locked in, like, you just could see it. Like, and LeBron talked about, I saw a clip, like I pulled up the tweet I was looking for those of you on not on video. The Hobbits cheering for Gandalf after he sets off another round of fireworks. Incredible photo last night of me and his teammates. And then the other one, this will be the last clip, and then we'll get to we lost Smoking Jay. So this will be the last clip, and then we will move on. But I saw this as well. Let me share this tab. Here we go. I'll play this video, and then we will continue. We will get talking about hype and the Ethereum. No, I didn't see a single person on the timeline talking about the Pectra update. And it was the largest update since the merge, like a pretty big deal. And I haven't seen a single person talking about it. So we're going to talk a little bit about Ethereum Pectra going live. We'll talk about Hyperliquid soon to flip Solana. But before let me just play this clip of the post-game conference. They asked Wemby if it was personal after SGA winning the NBA or winning the MVP, which, by the way, he held they gave him the MVP trophy before the game, pregame. He held the trophy above his head. Wemby had to see that. Here's what he had to say. I love it, man. Like, not political, not like, oh, we're here to win titles, awards, or like, yeah, of course it means something. He's a competitor. Bring back competition in sports. Like, enough of these. Almost got the Zoomers mad at me. Enough to, like, we don't need soft people on the basketball. It's okay to compete. It's okay to lock in and not like your opponent. You can be friends and like them after you retire, but when you're playing the game, like, compete. I don't want to see people like joking and laughing when they get bounced in the playoffs. Like, what are we doing out here? Yeah.
Like the famous Stephon Diggs photo where he's standing on the sideline, angry, standing with the other team.
My feed, by the way, is completely filled with Wemby now. Like, our friend Rippy, I haven't seen Rippy for a while. I'm not sure actually if he's even still in like crypto. For a while, he was deep in the NFT streets.
Yeah. Regarding the Wemby cards, let's say game 2 happens and the Thunder like blow them out, let's say, his card price will probably drop again. So you might want to wait to see what happens in game 2. But
but
obviously if they keep winning, the price will keep going up. But that's how crazy the sports card market is. It takes like literally, like, if let's say the Thunder win game 2 by like 30 and Wemby only puts up like 18 and 10, his card price will probably drop again.
Yeah, and I fully understand. Yeah, it's just in anything, whether you're talking sports cards or crypto or stocks, you want to buy dips and sell rips. You don't want to go buying a rookie card after one of the greatest performances of all time in the playoffs. I fully understand that.
I did.
What my concern is, like, okay, yes. What do we think happens if they, I don't know, what happens if they sweep the Thunder and then sweep whichever Eastern Conference team makes it in? Like, when Wemby wins his first title at 22, wins the Finals MVP, coming off a unanimous Defensive Player of the Year, like, you can't, like, his cards are going to be significantly more expensive than they are today, even after this performance. So I don't know. I do need, you know what this is going to do, Joey? This is going to stop me from procrastinating and going through all my cards and sending you the batch. And I'm going to get them sent to you now. And whatever we sell, I'm just going to say, okay, whatever we sell this batch for, whatever, buy the best Wemby we can buy the best, maybe it's a batch of Wembys that we think have upside. But yeah, I am.
If he wins the finals and the finals MVP, his card prices will look like a meme coin chart pumped by Frank D. God.
This is actually a great question from Hizzy, and I have the same question because before let me read this quote from Rippy, who says SGA is the MVP. Wemby is the best player in the world right now. The Spurs dominated OKC during the regular season. It wasn't random. They match up beautifully on the team to beat in the series. The lightning strikes down thunder. He called this before the game. Well, good call, and looks to be right. And yeah, so I think we've also convinced Steve. Steve was saying that he's not that dude. This is the other. I know I saved one more clip. This I'm not gonna play the video, but I will share it because I also saw this. Wemby is that dude. Like, this happened. Like, his villain arc when he was 17 years old. He fouled out during the FIBA U19 World Cup final, playing the USA. There was 2 minutes and 42 seconds remaining in the fourth quarter. The US would end up going on to win by 2. Wemby in that game had 22 as a 17-year-old. Had 22 points, 8 rebounds, and 8 blocks. Chet only had 10 points, won the MVP. There's also a picture of the two of them. Maybe it's at the end of this video. There's a picture of the two of them. No, it's not the video. Where Wemby's like holding the runner-up trophy. Chet has the MVP trophy, and he's pissed. And ever since then, it's been this fierce rivalry. And man, that stuff, again, Wemby is him. I'm convinced of it. If he stays healthy, we've got something really special. And I, as a sports fan and as a competitor, I appreciate greatness. I feel it's amazing that and people our age have had the opportunity to watch Jordan, to watch LeBron, to watch Shaq, to watch Kobe. And this, you're talking about one sport. To watch, in my case, Joe Montana and Tom Brady.
Steph Curry. Don't forget Steph Curry.
This is I think he can be the face of the league. Von Frunton still pushing back, says he might become the most dominant player in the league and still not be the face of the league. I don't know, man. I think the only way he doesn't is if it is because he's not American, because he's French. Also, another bold call, and I don't know who else is going to be on that team, but man, they probably don't have a market for it yet. I'm going to go look on Kalshi. If they get good odds, I would take the France to win the gold medal in the 28 Olympics. I think it is maybe not. I know it doesn't look like we have 28 Olympics yet. We've got Rondo. So I was looking for 28 Olympics, and we don't have NBA or we don't have the basketball outcome, but we do have a market on will Rajon Rondo compete in the Summer Olympics flag football in 2028. So we do have an NBA related market, a former NBA point guard. Will he play on the flag football team? But no markets yet for basketball. But I think it is in range that France wins the. Who's on the France national basketball team? And man, wouldn't it be something if France wins the World Cup in 26 and then the men's Olympic in 28? Roster's pretty thin outside of Wemby, but in fact, I don't know. I thought they had a few other. I guess I'm just thinking back to like Tony Parker days, and it seemed like they always had more NBA players than I guess they do nowadays, because it doesn't look like. They may not even have another NBA player on the team other than Wemby. I thought there was. What about Evan Fournier, Rudy Gobert? That doesn't make sense. They should still be on the team, no?
I thought the France team had a bunch of NBA players, because remember, a lot of guys can play. When it comes to the Olympics, you don't actually have to be from France, right? Like you just have to like have French blood in you. So like some of the guys that like.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure, right? Like you just have to have like citizenship. So like you don't have to be like born in France. You can just, like for example, like if you were like Wemby, I remember in soccer, a lot of these guys that were born in like Africa but immigrated to France and got France citizenship became like play on the French soccer team, right? So like I think the French team has more NBA players than just Wemby.
They have to, and I guess the national team roster right now, it just doesn't include the NBA stars, because it will be it. I mean, Wemby and Gobert is, talk about some twin towers. Sheesh. Maybe the best defensive front court ever. At least around the rim. Like, man. But I think that might.
I see Alex Sarr, who's an NBA player.
Okay, I didn't realize he was in the NBA.
Gorshan, Yabusele, Zachariah, Reisiger. Like, there's a Bilal Coulibaly. There's a bunch of NBA players. I mean, they're not like, they're not first team all pros.
Yeah, Richier was a lottery pick. I didn't realize that. This is where I don't follow the NBA that close. But yeah, I probably shouldn't be making calls like that because I really don't know. I'm just it's more. And I would like to see. B Epic says Cap drinking the cafe a latte, however you say that in France. B Epic also says sell Wemby during the playoffs, in his opinion.
You can't. No, you can't. So here's the thing: if you don't believe, if you believe that if you truly in your heart believe the Spurs are going to lose to the Thunder and then lose in the finals, and you don't believe Wemby is somebody that's going to be around for the next 5 or 10 years, yes, sell the hype. But like just to flat out say sell,
well, he
I don't
said
think it's fair.
Part of the background is he said he bought a Devin Booker rookie card in 2020 down 90%. So getting out, Devin Booker is a all-star. Devin Booker is not him. Devin Booker is not potentially the next face of the league. There's a very, very big difference between a all-star and a really good player and someone who's if they stay healthy, will be in the conversation as debatable of as the GOAT. I don't think
I
Booker
mean,
was ever
imagine
in
if
that
you sold a
conversation.
LeBron the first year he was in the playoffs and then they lost because of the hype. Like,
Right.
yeah, I don't think it's fair to say again, if you believe he's going to beat the Thunder, even just make the finals. If you think he's even going to make the finals, you can't sell his card because making the finals is the first step to them then winning the finals.
Yep. I agree. Let's do this. Quick coffee break. On the other side of this, we are going to talk hype going burr, why and when it's going to flip Solana, and we're going to talk about this Petra upgrade. Thank you, Osiris, for sharing the great breakdown from Georgie Boy. Speaking of aliens, the alien boy, Georgie Boy is telling us all about this Petra update. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back on the other side of this, and then CryptoPain ads. They're all old except for Bilal Koulibaly. Yeah, I'm gonna work on my French. I need to solve Spanish first, but up next is after I figure out how to speak Spanish, I'll be working on my French, and we'll be right back on the other side of this coffee break. Don't go anywhere. Okay, that was a pivotal coffee break. I had an epiphany. Well, I do one other task when I run and grab coffee. So it might have been during that other task time. Something I've been thinking about for a while. We're going to crowdsource it. We're just going to talk free and openly about it. And then I promise we are going to talk Hyperliquid and Petra update. I have been thinking a while. Primarily was going to do a football show because I feel that's where I could actually help others with my knowledge base, and where I might just have pure hopium and fandom talking about players like Wemby as conversation or in conversation as the GOAT and why we should be sweeping Wemby rookie cards. I clearly am passionate about sports, and part of what got me into hosting Coffee with Captain was I was an active participant in specifically DFS. I mean, fantasy for well over 20 years, but really became, as far as like content consumption on a daily basis, was due to DFS, and consumed, I'm sure, well over 10,000 hours of DFS and best ball content at this point in my life. And it was playing that game at relatively high stakes for a decade, or over a decade, but really, like, from when was DraftKings founded? I think 2012. Yeah. So from like 2012 through, I mean, it was almost 10 years, like 2012 to 2021, January 21. It was some of the content creators that I followed and listened to frequently and read their work. And they are the ones who got into Top Shot. Jonathan Bales, who was more of a writer. He had a blog. He wrote a book, Daily Fantasy Sports for Smart People, I think it was called. And but he ran with that circle of Adam Levitan and Peter Jennings and a lot of like the known sharps in the DFS space who also did podcasts and video content. And for the longest time, I had proven objectively that I had this. I'm not saying I was on their level. They played at volumes like where I was playing $1,000 to $1,500 a night. Some of the whales, like no joke, they'd have six figures and play every single night. I never reached that level. I'm not pretending to be in that level. I never shipped a Millie Maker. They were on another. There was like the top 0.01% of players in the world. And then there was the top 1% in the world. But the difference between the top 0.01 and myself at a top 1% is just as large of a gap as there is between me and someone who just was a casual player. So I was a profitable player. I was, again, not like objectively a top 1% player in the world for, I don't know, maybe 5 or 6 years running. And then the game got solved. It became a game of similar to like poker, where online poker now is, you just got to play GTO. It's like there's software that tells you the optimal plays. And similarly, there's tools and software and simulations in DFS that, well, there's still variance involved. If you're going to play a portfolio of lineups and over a long enough sample size, you're going to be plus EV. Well, you were for a while when we were doing it kind of manually. Now it's anyone that wants to pay for the subscription. Everyone has the same plays. You could look at 5 different projections and they're all going to be pretty darn close. You could run 5 different sources for simulations, and they'll run like 10,000 simulations of the slate. And here's the most optimal plays. So it went from, you could play cash games and you were almost always over a season going to be profitable because you were playing against players who just didn't know what you knew. Now, anyone who's playing for serious money, we all know the same. We all have the same information, and it's more of a coin flip than it is really having edge in a game. Anyways, long story short, I thought about jumping into the content space that entire time, and I just never did it. I just never got started. And I really don't even know why. I felt I was too late, quite frankly. I think that was it. It's like, oh, these guys have been, they started doing content in 2012 when I started playing. And then so like 5-6 years later, when I really got into it and was playing at the high stakes, I'm like, man, I'm 6 years late. Like I missed it. I missed the opportunity. So then when I found NFTs in 21, I was like, okay, I'm not doing this again. I didn't realize it instantly that this was going to be my next like thing. I certainly didn't realize it was going to be my next career path, let alone a ongoing, in DFS was like a side hustle. I just, but it was a serious side hustle. Like, especially playing high stakes NBA, it was like 60 to 90 minutes every night before lock. You were locked in to the computer because late breaking news and flip a whole slate upside on its head. And it was you had to be either take it very serious and you like couldn't miss a slate, and you couldn't be like out before tip off, because if there was a last minute lineup change, you were drawing dead basically, because it really could change the value proposition of an entire slate and the optimal players. Anyways, never got started. NFTs came around and I decided, you know what, we started the show December of 21, and it was just more selfish information gathering. Instead of having to scan Discord, it was, let's get on a space and talk about it. What did we miss last night? What are the mints we should be looking at today? What's running? What should we be paying attention to? And then a few weeks late into it, Steve joined as a co-host and just kept coming back every day. And then maybe like 6 months later, like, hey, we have something going here and we should take it a little more seriously. And we did. DJ Network became a thing and started, a lineup of other shows. And long story short, I'm grateful that I got started. And I think part of the reason I got started was because I sat on the sidelines and watched others create content in a space I was very passionate about, had a lot of knowledge, had the ability to speak and share said information. I just didn't ever get started. And so I have nothing to show for that time I've invested in consuming content and knowing, just understanding the game. So here's where I'm at, is I've had this thought, I want to do something before football season. And I've done like some football spaces, shout out to Phonics and J-Web, and I've enjoyed the football shows we do, like on a DFS Sunday, we'll do like a break down the slate an hour before the show, and it's fun. But have never monetized that. I've never like taken it seriously as a, like, let's build a brand in the sports content space. This is where my epiphany was. I have been thinking a little bit recently, like, if we start another, in addition to Coffee with Captain, we're not going anywhere. But let's say I start an afternoon show that's sports based, or an evening show. Evening for me would be like, 4:30 p.m. What does that look like? And specifically what I mean is there a way to do something where, because it's not just sharing takes on a market, and I mean, I guess you could do this in crypto, but it's just not nearly as common as you see in like the DFS world in terms of staking. And I'm trying to think what I can and can't say, because if I end up doing something here, I'm not trying to get someone to come back on me and it's like, oh, he was like, I should have put my thoughts together more so than just a quick trip to the coffee machine and the other pit stop I take during a coffee break. Long story short, whether it would be an NFT mint, a token, something to where it's not like, I don't know, I don't necessarily want to be the only host of said sports show, whether it's a generic sports show, whether it's a football show, and then we add a basketball show, whether it's a show focused on underdog and best ball and battle royales in that format. I think there's a niche market there. There's a lot of people that have, at this point, if I thought I was late in 2016, I'm definitely late in 2026 in terms of jumping into a world that is, the leaders of that space, the Adam Levitans, the JJ Zach Reesons, there's the Matt Harmons, like they've really established themselves and a tremendous following. Most of them now, it's not just some are completely independent, like the Adam Levitans with established run, but there's also like the Matt Harmons with, I think Matt Harmons, I can't remember if he's Yahoo or Underdog. I think Yahoo and Reception Perception and JJ's, like there's a lot that they have the support and clout of larger big brands like Yahoo, ESPN, etc. And they have a very long, loyal fan base. So tough to compete directly in that world. But what I don't see a lot of is specifically focused on the best ball style format. And it's across all sports. And the playoffs, best ball formats are fun. And I feel that that's where I still have somewhat of an edge over the traditional market. Anyways, talking in circles here, thinking out loud, is I wonder how I could bring audience community along for the ride beyond just a gated Discord of, hey, here's some additional alpha. Just something I'm thinking of or thinking on. And I don't know the answer. I'm just talking out loud, but I think that the epiphany is I'm going to start something, and maybe broader than just football. It was started as a passion project, but I think that do so with the downside is, worst case scenario, it's a passion project and I do something I enjoy. The upside is we scale another brand that is monetizable. And I think the caveat, the differentiator is, as far as like bringing others along, is there's opportunities to do so in not just, hey, you're part of you're early supporter of a community, or you're a paid member, but in addition to sharing the alpha in a place to get, find edge because you're getting player takes or game theory takes that you're not finding elsewhere. I think there's an opportunity there to, I think, not too different than like staking in poker, or I mean even DFS for that matter, in that world. For instance, and again, this is where I'm trying to choose my words carefully, because of, if I do something, I don't want people jumping in just because they think they're going to get a share of the best ball mania. I ship it for $2 million. I don't want that to be the reason people would jump in and support, but I think what I'm saying is I think there's opportunity for additional upside. And I mean, quite frankly, it's kind of like what Billy Betts is doing with their community, where you get a community rooting together. You have a shared rooting interest. And that was a lot of the fun when I was really grinding peak NBA DFS. This was even pre-Discord. We were in Group Me. If that's even still a thing. Is Group Me still a thing? Group text messages. We had a DFS Group Me chat. It was fun because not that we would have the same lineups, but we'd often end up finding ourselves on the same core. A few of us started a blog called NBA Narratives, and we would talk about the narrative of the day, revenge games and birthday games, and that stuff matters in the NBA. I'm not saying that, Von Frutton, but if I do, DGen holders will get priority. So yes, that is correct, but I'm not saying what you just dropped. But you're catching what I'm laying down, so thank you for that. If anyone wants to know what I'm not saying, but what I'm planning to do, you can find that in the War Room. It might be maybe based on Discord rank. We'd have to do it on the new Discord rank, but I'm not going to forget those who have supported this journey. So yes, that's in a nutshell. I'm very grateful and appreciative of all of you who've supported this 5-year journey with Coffee with Captain. And if I were to do when I do another brand, another show, I would like to bring, and I know not everyone's cares about sports, but a lot of you do. I mean, the forums have been popping off all morning about Wemby takes or Wemby hate, and even a Lou Dort mention. I would like to bring those of you who've already supported along for the ride with the next one, to where maybe it's a brand coin. I don't know the best format. That's my ask, is if you were me and you've had a show that in specific to really crypto and NFTs and a sprinkle of AI, and every once in a while, a 68-minute cold open on the next face of the NBA. You got me. How would you do it? Would you do an NFT mint and just do a gated Discord? Would you do a brand coin? I say that because I don't know how I would structure that. Would you do, because it's not just token buyback, but there's ways to, the brand is, we took off and now DraftKings is sponsoring us, which, by the way, DraftKings has sponsored Coffee with Captain. For those of you new here, that was one of our first big sponsors. Was DraftKings sponsored this show. Granted, they were deep in Rainmakers at the time and making moves in Web3, and I've since boycotted DraftKings, and I haven't played on the platform for years because of how dirty they did us with Rainmakers. I say all that. Think on that. If anyone has any great thoughts on how I could structure this, something that might excite you, or even if it wouldn't excite you specifically, any ideas? If you were me and had a existing supportive community, many of which you are into sports, how would you structure the foundation of a new property, of a new sports show? I am open to ideas, and as the hot off the presses, as the SEC is preparing to allow tokenized stock trading, I think there's ways we could structure this so it's compliant and kosher with all rules and regulations, while allowing for some upside beyond just the show itself, beyond just this isn't what we would call it, but sports with cap. That's not going to be it. Beyond any equity stake in something like that, there's other opportunities for not even just potential financial gain or gains, but potentially windfall if other things were to click right above and beyond just like sponsor dollars and traditional revenue. Anyways, probably already said too much, but something that's definitely on my mind. And I think while I don't know exactly the how, I am going to do it. It's just exactly what and when. And my goal though would be to do get it live prior to football season, and probably this summer during the midst of best ball summer. Anyways, DGen Network War Room is apparently getting XP reset tonight. I'm kidding, it's not happening, but it was good. Got me laughing. Let's do this. Let's do a little bit of crypto talk. If anyone has any suggestions, by the way, continue to drop those in the chat or shoot me a DM. Thomas says would try a Thursday sports show on YouTube, could cover the beginning of the week and get ready for the weekend. Yeah, and I would want to be, well, I'm not afraid to compete. I also know how crowded the market is and would want to do something unique, not just for market share purposes, but also to add some value that someone else isn't providing yet today in a space where it's a much larger market than this. It's also a much more crowded market than this when it comes to content creation. Thinking how I can hard pivot into Hyperliquid. HIP3, I thought we were going to have sports markets on there, HIP4, on the Hyperliquid prediction market. We haven't got that yet, but the market doesn't seem to care. The market is not waiting for more markets to come on the prediction market section of Hyperliquid. The market could care less, actually. It is Hype is ripping once again. We're going to play in just a quick jingle for our daily market update. We'll get into the majors and what they've done in the last 24 hours, as well as the NFT movers. This is the daily market update.
Coffee brewing. Yeah, the market's in play. Charts on the screen. What the numbers gonna say? We got offer in the cup every single day. Coffee with Captain, market update on the way.
All right, let's start with NFTs today, and then we'll come back to majors because that'll lead us into the Hyperliquid chat and then Pectra. So Punks up to 34 ETH quietly, been on a heater themselves, up 2.3% of the day. 10,000 tokens we called out yesterday at 0.1 ETH. They're now up another 18% on the day to 0.14. This is the one where if you want to launch, there's going to be a meme coin launch pad that there'll only ever be at most 10,000 tokens launched on said meme coin launch pad. And the only way to launch a token is you have to burn one of these NFTs. So now the cost is up over $200, $250, maybe $300 to launch a token. The theory is quality, some sort of quality control will take place, as you wouldn't think people are just going to be burning a 0.14 ETH token to launch something without some sort of quality tied to it or thought and intent. Apes down 5% of the day to 9.4. Hyper's flat at 329. V1 Punks up 37% on the day, 3.23 ETH. I saw one was traded on the original contract, the original misprint, the error contract. So if you weren't familiar up to this point, so Matt and John, Larva Labs, founders of Larva Labs, who created CryptoPunks, they created the CryptoPunks first, and there was an error in the contract. And long story short, they killed the contract. They created the second contract with Punks, and that's what everyone knows as CryptoPunks today. But from a provenance standpoint, and the true OGs, it was the V1 Punks that were first. It's just the social contract was that these aren't the real punks. The real punks are the ones on the contract that was corrected and the one that Matt and John meant to take public. But with all things blockchain, it's on chain. You can't delete it. It's permissionless, and This one just sold for 14. Hoodie Punk just sold for 14 ETH V1. You can see these sales too. Not only is the floor up 37% to 3.23, a lot of these sales are well over floor. And I'm kicking myself because of all I've shared on the show a few times. There's one PFP that I want to add to my PFP collection and just vault it. And it was a V1 Punk. I should have bought it 2 ETH when I started considering it. But the reason I didn't, I couldn't find anything I liked. Like most of the floors were pretty floor punks. They weren't great. And you just like the only listings. I should have been making offers because you had to go way up to find a good one listed. And I just never found anything that resonated with me that was even close to the floor. So they're up now. Does it have to do with the new contract? I don't know. Maybe call some attention to it. Or not the new contract, the old contract, which is now tradable. I'll do a deep dive and figure out how they did it and maybe talk a little more about that tomorrow. But normies, back to the NFT update, normies up another 5% to 0.36 ETH. Milady's up 5% to 1.21. Mutants down slightly to 1.52. Pudgy's down 2% to 4.63. Grifters down a couple percent, 3% to 13.36. Moonbirds up 3% to 0.78. Little Pudgy's flat at 0.48. Quirky's flat at 1.07. Azuki down 3.9% to 0.87. Drop Dead Gorge down 3.5% to 0.03. The Florentine's up again now to 0.08 ETH. It's one of the newer mints we called out recently here on the show. Good Vibes Club down to 4.2% to 0.51 ETH, and V-Friends down 2% to 1.35. Chromie Squiggles now 2.8, and Coda's 0.9, along with Chimpers at 0.8. Gift of Time continues its sliding after its recent run-up, is now down to 1.14, down 9% on the day. Doodles 0.5. That's our NFT update. Let's head over to, we will check CoinMarketCap for the top tokens. I've already alluded to the big winner of the day. It also might be in the headline. Fear and Greed still at 39. So we're still in fear after we hit 39 yesterday, fell abnormal. Bitcoin down 1% to 76,574. Seen some pretty bearish takes on Bitcoin and ETH, all the majors really, but I don't know. I feel still, I mean, it is May. May's actually 2/3 of the way over. They say sell in May and go away. I don't know. My perma optimism keeps me thinking that this could still be a fun, exciting summer. And I'm not selling and going away. But I've been wrong before. ETH down 1.71%, still holding 2106. BNB down 0.4%. XRP down 1.3%. Solana down 1% to $84. Tron down 0.5%. Doge down 2%. Hyperliquid up 3.2% to 47.70. It's up 17% on the week, on a red week, a week where Bitcoin's down 5%, ETH down 7%, Solana down 11%, Hyperliquid up 17%. I'm not a math wizard, but too many more weeks where Solana's down 11% and Hyperliquid's down up 16%, the flippening occurs. Solana's going to be fine, but they're not leading in anything anymore. I guess still meme coins, but meme coins, as far as like new meme coins and launching meme coins, kind of lost its luster. And even something like probably the most exciting thing happening in meme coins right now is 10,000 tokens, from TokenWorks. It's on ETH. Yeah, I don't know where, like, what is Solana's USP? What is their unique selling proposition? Why Solana over Bitcoin, ETH, or Hyperliquid? And I don't know the answer. If you look at revenue generated and how profitable these chains, these protocols are, Hyperliquid continues to outperform. I just from first principles, I don't see Solana as a $48-49 billion market cap and Hyperliquid at 12. The gap just seems too large to me. And I'd love to see them both just go up forever. I think it's probably more likely that Solana maybe just chops and Hyperliquid grinds its way up to Solana. And of all things, that my conviction in this space, I have a lot of conviction that a Hyperliquid is, and maybe they're already there in terms of a major, but if not there yet, I think fast forward a year or so, and when we're talking about majors in crypto, it's Bitcoin, it's ETH, it's Solana, and Hyperliquid. I think it's only a matter of time before it locks itself into that major conversation. What to do with that? I mean, go if you don't have some Hyperliquid, go grab some Hyperliquid. Not financial advice, but I think and it's up so much on the week. Maybe you wait for the next dip. I think the last time I gave the recommendation was it was down to like, it was on the show, and said if it was still hanging below 40 post show, I was gonna long it, and it didn't. It's just been basically up only since. Just the downside for a protocol that is so profitable, generating so much revenue, and with what's happening with the SEC and getting behind tokenized stocks, what happens if and when Hyperliquid becomes fully compliant in the US and you don't have to take a trip to the Bahamas to use it? Like, I know a VPN doesn't dissuade a lot of the crypto natives, but I mean, I think it's definitely a larger market if you don't have to worry about a VPN, if you just go on Hyperliquid and trade freely. I think what happens then? What happens to their usage, their volume? I would think it goes up, and maybe that doesn't happen. I don't know what has to happen for that to take place, but I think it's a matter of time. Maybe I'm wrong, but I think I don't know. Anyways, before I get into Pectra, Zonko, back to the last conversation, said, before listening to your show, I used to listen to Boston Sports 98.5. I always considered them to be the best at navigating news, and what you do with crypto is on par with them. You know ball. I'd say roll the dice and go for it. Appreciate the kind words. And yeah, I am going to go for it. Not just because you gave me that vote of confidence, but it definitely helps. And what I want to decide is, what does that look like? What is it? Because, it's fun to, when you can think, like with this show, I'm again grateful for all of you, and producer Payne, and the 1,000 of shows I hosted with Steve. More challenging to do things differently now than starting some fresh new idea that can take shots. If nothing hits and ends up just being a passion project, then it's cool. Not in a position to where make some big changes with this show and it becomes just a passion project. Right now, it's pays the bills, and I would like to, my goal for this year is I want Payne to become much higher paid and one of the top paid producers in this space. To do that, we gotta continue to grow the show. There's no pressure there with a new property, a new show, and looking to get creative and outside the box and how we could build it differently. But speaking of building things differently, I alluded to the post from Osiris, who shared, I'm just looking for it so I can pull it up on stage here. Osiris shared the great breakdown from the Pectra update that did complete successfully. I think we've gotten so used to it that we don't bat an eye, we don't even talk about it, but the best analogy I've ever heard talking about these Ethereum upgrades is like, it's the person who jumps out of an airplane building the parachute on the way down. Like, zero downtime, and they just continue to knock out update after update after update, and the chain doesn't miss a beat. They don't have to turn it off. They don't have to say, oh, we're going to be in maintenance mode for 24 hours. The fact that they're able to do this time and time again, it's super impressive, to the point where I think we've gotten numb to it and don't talk about how impressive it is. Anyways, here, this upgrade was completed successfully. It's the biggest Ethereum upgrade since Din Kun. and it changes everything. I heard it's the biggest since the merge, which maybe Denkun, I don't know, maybe that's the same thing. I don't know. Maybe the merge was just the nickname for Denkun. Anyways, here's why it matters, even if you're not a dev. I'll pin this up top too. Pectra makes Ethereum smarter, faster, and more usable. It upgrades how wallets work, how staking works, and how Ethereum scales in the future. Let's break down the silent revolution powering the next wave of Web3. Smart wallets for everyone, thanks to EIP 3074. Your plain old wallet now becomes programmable. Batch transactions, sponsored gas, social recovery, all without switching to a smart contract wallet. These are things that like we maybe used to ideate or dream about or talk about maybe someday. And or these are this is why this L2 is now important, because of you can do these things. This is on mainnet. Also, not trying to make it PvP. I'm not just continuing to pour on Solana, but again, what is we know what makes Hyperliquid unique. We know what makes Bitcoin unique. I think we got a good idea here what makes Ethereum unique. What makes Solana unique in a very competitive world of blockchain space? Where do they stand out? In addition to the batch transaction, sponsor gas, and social recovery, better staking economics, EIP 7251 raises the validator limit from 32 ETH to 2,048 ETH. Fewer validators, more efficiency, lower network load, smoother finality. You may be thinking, well, I don't have 32 ETH to stake, so why does it matter if it goes to 2,048 ETH? It's huge for institutions. And again, for the network's purposes, as Georgie said, more efficient, lower network load, smoother finality, operating more like in terms of speed and gas, more like an L2 than an L1. I mean, gas right now, 0.8 GUI. Prep for the future. Pectra lays the groundwork for Verkle trees, account abstraction, and more. It's a foundational type upgrade, meaning it enables everything coming next. Pectra brings account abstraction, capital efficiency, and future-proof infrastructure all in one move. It's not just a tech upgrade, it's a green light for the next wave of products, protocol, and capital. If you're building on Ethereum or investing in it, this is the signal. Every major upgrade starts quietly, then it changes everything. As I said, I will pin this up top, but other than Georgie, thanks again, Osiris, for sharing that. I don't think I've seen any on my timeline. I haven't got any hits on this update, why it's a big deal. It just went off without a hitch and people moved on like it was nothing. Still, this new, speaking of updates or upgrades or downgrades in Ethereum, or in X's case, moving the like button away from me, I'm not a fan of, but I'll stop complaining about it at some point. George says some horrible takes on Solana. I'm open to being wrong. I'm open to being convinced. My question for you, George, or anyone, is what is Solana's unique selling proposition now? What are they the best in the world at? It's not TPS. Like, what can you do on Solana that you can't do on other chains? Why would a dev want to go to Solana and build there as opposed to ETH or Hyperliquid or Mega ETH or fill in the blank? It's a genuine question. I don't know the answer. I'm not trying to be crass or smart. I don't, if I think, and I know that things exist there, but I don't know if it's strong enough, like other than meme coins, which they've had a stranglehold on, and people want to go to Solana for that liquidity. As the world heads to a multi-chain future, I could see a lot of brands also launching on Solana. Case in point, Beezy, who's live on Flow and Base and coming soon on Solana. I get that. I think it's a wise move for them, but I don't think it would be wise for them to go on Solana only. And so Solana has far more DeFi tooling than other chains. I know they do, And I see Bayham saying, BlackRock and Citi both have invested there. Again, I know that to be true, but I still think when it comes to DeFi and institutional interest, I still think ETH wins that debate. No? Solana still has the cheapest per transaction, do they? I don't know that to be true. I think Base is cheaper. I think, you get on the line. I mean, Base is probably a better comparison than something like Mega ETH, but Mega ETH's faster and cheaper. Base is cheaper and for most intents and purposes just as fast without the failed transactions. Again, I'm genuinely curious what is, as we go forward, are you saying it's DeFi? DeFi is where Solana differentiates themselves? Okay. I would think that institutional money would be more inclined to go towards the more decentralized chain like Ethereum over Solana. I mean, right now, I'll just not me just saying this, not my opinion. Looking at like DeFi Llama, which is on-chain data, it's not even close. I mean, ETH has 52% of the DeFi market share. That's insane, and in such a competitive industry as blockchain, as block space is, as DeFi is. They've got 43 billion of TVL in DeFi. Solana's at 5.93 billion. Not quite, but almost a 10x. Not really. 8, we'll say. The Solana has a little bit more DeFi than Binance Smart Chain. A little bit more than Tron. A little bit more than Bitcoin. They're all like the 5 to 5.9 billion. ETH at 43 billion. We talk about stable coins. ETH 164 billion. Solana at 14 billion. Binance at 13 billion. Even Tron dwarfs Solana. Tron's at 90 billion. Talk about now fees. Solana does as good or better in fees than does Ethereum. For a while, I've said that's part of the issue with ETH is they made it too friendly for the L2s. Like, I don't believe that Base or any L2 should be making half as much in fees as Ethereum. Hyperliquid, much newer than Solana or these others. It's at 1.5 billion in TVL, DeFi TVL, 5 billion in stables. And while the fees are showing 53,000 in the last, I don't think that's all inclusive either. That's just their chain fees, not their, I think that's just Hype EVM fees, not necessarily their protocol fees, if I'm not mistaken. Hyperliquid or Solana does have more active addresses than Ethereum, 1.85 to 545,000. But even that pales in comparison to Binance and Tron. And maybe this is like a US-centric view. And if we're going to be talking about majors, we should be talking about Binance. We should be talking about Tron, I guess. But yeah, Gary asked, which has more developers and stablecoin volume? I mean, stablecoins is not even close. Developers, I'll have to look. Crypto developer activity, it's basically almost a tie. Solana, and this is 24 hours monthly, I guess. Trying trying to figure the time frame here. Shows the number of unique developers across all repositories based on selected range, all time, 30 days or 7 days. Where do I see the? This is so all time. Let's change it to 30 days. I don't think if I change it to 30 days, so I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna share the all time. Here's the all time tab of developers. Solana slightly more. 10,769, ETH 9,744, although commits not even close. Solana at 90,000, ETH at 503,000, repos 434 to 141, stars 184,000 to 39,000. Can anyone guess where the most developer activity in the last 30 days are without looking? I don't think anyone will get it. I'm just going to show you because we could be here all morning. I don't think anyone's going to guess this. Actually, a better question might be, does anyone even know? Has anyone even heard of Waterfall? Apparently in the last 30 days, Waterfall has the most developer activity, 657 developers, ETH coming in second at 348. Where's Solana? Hard to believe. I wasn't expecting that. I did know that Waterfall is number one. ETH is number 2, Base number 5, Polygon number 7, Sui number 8, Polkadot number 9, Tron number 10, Near number 12. Tezos, like this can't be right. If you're not looking at the screen here, let me read the description then. Shows the total number of unique developers across all repositories based on a selected range, the number of unique developers active in the last month. Developers are deduplicated, so each person is only counted once, even if they contribute to multiple repos. Bots are excluded. In the last 30 days, Solana is ranked 39th, basically dead last, because they're net negative 170 developers. I don't understand this report because it's showing change in the last 30 days. But that's kind of my point is take this data. This is chain inspect or chain spect. I'll look for another report to look at the data a different way. But my point is all time, yeah, Solana's had a lot of developers, a lot of activity. No one can dispute meme coin mania. My question is, what's next? I don't think it's going to be another meme coin season. And if this data is accurate, the developers are leaving Solana. They're dead last on this report. Out of 40 chains, Somnia recorded no information, and Solana is down 170 developers, negative 170 developers, negative 1,200 commits, negative 4,500 stars. I don't know how that's possible. Let me look for another chart. I hope I'm wrong, but I'm genuinely asking the question. I know there's a lot of Solana fans. I don't dislike Solana. But if I attempt to look at things objectively, like Hyperliquid wins just on like the in that range. I think like Bitcoin and Ethereum have, I think, secured their place where they're at. Could there be some flip-flopping there? Could someone flip Ethereum someday? Yeah, sure. Anything's possible. But I think to me, it's clear where ETH is heading, and we're seeing more institutional adoption, all this tokenization of stocks, and it's coming on ETH, Hyperliquid. Yeah, I know you can trade stocks on Solana, but there's nothing unique to that. The AI overview from Google is telling me active developers, ETH has about 32,000, Solana has about 17,000, and then Bitcoin at 11,000. I thought maybe DApp Radar will be a good one here to look at. If anyone has a good developer chart or good developer data site, let me know. I'm not finding the exact report I was looking for some reason, but I mean, even like 24-hour volume, ETH 16 billion, Solana 2.5 billion, Base 16 billion. What's cooking on Base? I've seen a couple people say something is there's something on Base about to explode. You know, the famous, very vague post from Ansem and Jesse about this thing is bubbling on Base, but no one wants to say what it is. Guess what the top DApp is on Solana. Any guesses on that? For DApp Radar, the top DApp on Solana is Hyperliquid. Blockchain developers by chain. Camino. So here's just another report. This is monthly active developers. This one comes from developer report. EVM 4,100 full-time devs. Ethereum mainnet 3,100 full-time devs. Bitcoin 970. SVM stack 941. Solana 941. And while yes, ETH is also down, surprisingly, Bitcoin devs, full-time devs up 30% in the last year, 65% in the last 2 years. I wonder how much of that is like fear of the whole quantum computing thing. Total devs, EVM stack 11,000, ETH mainnet 8,400, Bitcoin 26, Solana 2,700. Base is basically half that. So Base and Ethereum L2 has half the amount of devs as does Solana. Again, it's not devs aren't everything. That was a question that was asked: is what is which has more developers, which has more stablecoin volume? I mean, if those are the metrics, it's ETH by a landslide. One more chart I want to look at, and then if there's anything we missed today, if anything on your radar or caught your attention that we haven't hit on, that wasn't Wemby related, we can hit that in the home stretch here. But I still am not finding. There was another, I thought I could find it by Google search because it's where I found it in the past, but I'm not seeing it. It's not DApp Radar. Sorry, I know this is great. Live TV. Looking for something I can't find. Snacks is going to help me out. Also, good timing. Snacks, I don't know if you caught yesterday's show. We don't have time today, but I did want to bring you on tomorrow or Thursday or Friday and talk Bitcoin Pizza Day and Pizza DAO. Maybe that's what you came up to plug today. But before we go there, do you happen to know a good site for active developers by chain? Snacks, if you're with us. You're muted if you are.
Hey,
there
sorry.
we go.
So I don't know, but those numbers sound incredibly low. I just heard you say that there were like just around 4,000 developers on ETH and like, was it 900 on Solana?
DeFi Llama shows. Let me pull up.
just anecdotally, because
So this
pieced it out, right? We were all over the world, and I mean, there's got to be more than 1,000 developers on Solana, and more than, I mean, 4,000 is a decent number of devs, I guess, but with Vibe, are we counting Vibe coders? I don't know. It seems low to me.
Yeah. I mean, all time it's 9,000, it's 10,000. When I change it to 30 days, it's this is broken. This shows 348 for ETH, and the one was negative. Obviously, there's not negative developers in the last 30 days. Does DeFi Llama show developer activity? I thought it did, but I'm not finding it. I don't know if they moved it around or.
I would love to see university courses or coursework. I feel like that might be a super good metric. That would be maybe crawlable and presentable, and is a good proxy, because the college kids are interested in the blockchain still, bear market or no.
Yeah, I agree. That would be an interesting, and not the end all be all, but it would be an interesting data point. Yeah, Gary says this numbers might just be devs touching the main chain and code, not projects built on. I think there's got to be more.
That would make more sense. Like if this is devs actually submitting PRs or something, then the numbers start to sound high.
Yeah.
To me.
Looking back to the fee conversation, I mean, this is 24 hours fee generation. Tether, number one at 16 million. Circle number two at 6 million. We all should have started stable coins back in 2020 is what we should have done. Hyperliquid number 3 at 2.5. Pump number 4 at 2.43. It's crazy to me they're still generating that much in fees. Just mind blowing. That
Pump. Who is still getting?
What are they doing? That's what I don't understand. Is what's the last runner from Pump Fund? I don't know anyone still actively grinding I know that there still are, but my mind is actually blown that it's still 7 figures, a healthy 7 figures a day.
I remember at the height of Pump Fun on the Pizza Out community call, every so often, we'd go to the back room and someone would be like, "Oh, look at this token," and then 6 of us would get rugged together. I
mean, think about it compared to Polymarket, which continues to just seems to be growing and growing. Kalshi just did raise at a $20 billion, $22 billion valuation. Polymarket's right there. Polymarket did 1.1 million in fees yesterday, which is a lot. Don't get me wrong. I mean, that's an incredible, $360, $400 million a year run rate. It's incredible, but it's half of half of Pump Fund. I really struggle getting my head around who are these people? Where is this volume coming from?
It almost, I don't know. It almost makes you wonder if they're just trading on their own platform. But I mean, I'm not going to make that accusation, but I think a lot of people got burned by bundlers on Pump Fun.
NFT Drew says that usually the dev numbers go off their GitHub commits. That's why my thought is, it's got some sort of commit, even if it's not a full-blown protocol. It's it's going to be something, not just a meme coin dev.
Because I shipped, technically I shipped Ethereum code or stuff that does things on chain this month. Am I counting towards these numbers? I don't know. If I am, I feel like the numbers are low. I feel like I'm not, is what I'm saying.
Right. I'll see if I can find a better dev counter for reporting tomorrow. I thought there was a good section on DeFi Llama, but I'm not finding it at all. But yeah, back to my earlier question, when it comes to what's next, what are we fast forward a year? I think as it relates to ETH, we're still talking about the same stuff. As it relates to Hyperliquid, we're still talking about the same stuff. As it talks to Bitcoin, we're the same stuff, and it's not just going to be the same stuff. But I think what we're talking about today is not going away. I just maybe it's me because I'm not deep in the Pump Fund trenches, but I have a hard time thinking a year from now, in May of 2027, that Pump Fund is still generating 7 figures a day and meme coin launches. I don't.
You would think people would get more creative about their launches and do some vibe coding. I mean,
Yeah,
I
like
don't think
stuff like Token Works, stuff like this, 10,000 tokens.
that was like their pivot, right? That maybe would have worked, but then I feel like they had a bunch of. Did they bring live streaming back? Like I remember there was a bunch of content you don't want on your platform, and they kind of turned it off.
They did, and actually, I thought they brought it back, but I haven't been to Pump Fun in a while. Looks like, yeah, streaming is still. They do have still streaming, but it's like, I mean, can't make this up. Like, where is this math? Like, the math ain't mathing. The most popular streams right now, to do a stream on Pump Fun, you have to have a stream, or I mean, you have to have a token. The most live viewers, there's Soul Reclaimer has 478 views. The market cap of that token is $2,000 is the market cap. GTA has 4 viewers. Its market cap is 99,000. Glorp Mode has 14 viewers. Its market cap is 2.52 thousand. Like, Omni Trading now, it's got 6 viewers with a market cap of 578,000. Like, I'm old enough to remember, like, you wouldn't see someone talking about a meme coin if it was below $1 million market cap. Now the top streams, most of them are below 10K market cap. And outside of one that I'm guessing is botted, the rest are like 4 to 15 viewers. The highest market cap right now of a live show is 623,000. It's got 4 viewers. Minecraft Grandma has 5 viewers. Some grandma playing Minecraft. 5 viewers though. Like, who's buying these tokens? I need to get a meme coiner on here so they can educate me, because I'm clearly missing something. If there's that kind of volume, like, something's going on over there. I just, looking at the I don't see it in the data. I don't see, when and I'm not saying it should be anywhere near its peak, but for a while you had like a daily runner that was going 50 million, 100 million, and I can't remember the last like real runner we saw.
Yeah, like basically, unless there's a community that it's completely outside of the core crypto community, and this thing kind of like went mainstream in some way, and we just don't know any of these people who are trading these tokens, I don't know how these volumes could be real.
I saw Gary joined up on stage. Gary, we'll get you in here as well. New active participant in the abstract chat, Pup Cup. Just big coming in with a big Pingu tip. Greatly appreciate that. It's very generous. Be Epic just won. Familiar with Pup Cup? So just won a 45x on Blinko. Congratulations. And yeah, Pup Cup, welcome to the chat. Gary, what are we missing here? You said they're not tracking GitHub commits of every project and DAO, just mainnet and L2s. And is there a source that if we want to track developers, do you have like a go-to report or go-to source for developer activity?
None that I want to share
Okay.
right now. I mean, it's kind of like a hodgepodge of different sources to track. But real quick, I just want to give a shout out to the War Room. 65 people in this room. It's definitely the alpha chat between the Coffee with Captain War Room and the Pizza DAO. I definitely encourage everyone to get the free pizza and tell their friends they get free pizza on Friday. It's a free pizza day. Good way to onboard people into crypto. I think there might be some free ENS names for people through the Pizza DAO. But there's you got to think, if they were tracking every single project on Solana, every single project on Ethereum, every single DAO, then that would be them. That'd be easy to gamify. Right? So they're only tracking the GitHub commits that are happening on the main chains, the L2 chains. Otherwise, I could create, 10 different projects. I could vibe code 10 different projects and 100 different projects with 1,000 commits and gamify those metrics. And so, they're not tracking like Pizza DAO updates and things like that.
Yeah, totally makes sense.
So you have to get your repo on the list, is what you're saying, Gary. Basically,
It's
like
I don't
someone's
mean
curating a list.
yeah. I mean, otherwise, I mean, yeah. Any serious list that's tracking developer activity for L1 blockchains, L2 blockchains, they can't be tracking the projects, right? That's like tracking like like we're talking about the pump, all the pump, meme coin projects. It's so easy to gamify. It's so easy to do your own trading volume that it can't be taken seriously. And so, when you're looking at the stablecoin volume, when you're looking at the developer numbers, when you're looking at these numbers, you want to be looking at the primary L1s, the L2s. Otherwise, it's just too easy to gamify. And so you just got to think, if there's like whatever 2,000, 3,000, 4,000 developers on EVM and mainnet, then you just have to think, those numbers are probably 10x, maybe even more. Dare I say 100x. The hundreds and hundreds and thousands of other projects that are being built, right? I mean, when you look at like a sub project of Ethereum, which is ENS, then there's ENS is not being counted toward those Git commits, and then there's like hundreds and hundreds, if not thousands, of projects that are being built on ENS, right? So you're talking second order, third order, fourth order effects of developers, especially with the vibe coding that's happening out there. There's more coders than ever that are doing more commits than ever. And so when you're looking at developers, you're looking at those developers on main chain and L2s.
Yeah, totally makes sense. I'm going to do a little deeper dive on this. I'm truly interested, and I wasn't taking shots at Solana. Genuine question, genuinely curious. Doomers adds, I've always understood Solana would be the consumer chain. Mayhem says, isn't there a ton of bank infra using Solana like Western Union, etc.? Solana more established in a lot of chains, tons of companies exploring it as payment rails. Yeah, I don't disagree. I just think more are exploring ETH and ETH layer 2s. And I think the other thing we're going to see is it's like Polymarket. They're in talks. They're going to allegedly leave Polygon and launch their own chain, probably an L2, maybe not, but I could see a lot of these larger institutions just doing their own thing. And without like the technical aptitude, it seems to be a lot easier for them to spin up, a lot more realistic, and for like both security and the decentralization standpoint, to go an ETH layer 2 as opposed to something on Solana. But again, I don't, not my area of expertise. I'm going to do some more deep diving, some more research.
But Captain, just look at the stablecoin volume, right? If someone says it's, like PYUSD or whatever, yeah, it's multi-chain, it's on Ethereum, it's on Solana, but you got to look at the total volume on those chains, right? I mean, if you have $100 million, $100 billion on one chain and a fraction of that on the other chain, then companies might be putting out a press release here or a press release there, or a partnership here or a partnership there. But the money is what does the talking. Yep. Right? It's like there's a difference between what people are saying and what they're doing. And let me tell you, what they're doing is on chain, so it's provable.
Yeah, absolutely. And you mentioned PYUSD is on Solana. Western Union USDPT is a stablecoin on Solana for global payments and digital asset network. What I would like to do, and I'm going to do my homework. I don't often give myself homework, but I'm going to do some homework tonight for tomorrow's show. Is pull together some data, like for instance, Stripe, stablecoin payment. So they support USDC on Solana, Ethereum, Polygon Base. I think most of our future is multi-chain, and the tech will be abstracted. The end consumer won't know. Just like today, we don't know. Oh, is this website and all my activity, is this going on AWS? Like what does the infrastructure look like behind this? No one cares. They just want it to work. No one cares about who's the cloud provider. No one cares about who's hosting. No one cares about who the ISP is. They just want it to work. Solana did apparently 6 billion in perps in the last 24 hours. How much of that was a Solana native dApp would be my next question. Doomers adds L2s have more friction. They do today, kind of, but I might. Anytime someone says L2s have more friction, my counter is going to be: have you used Base App? Have you claimed your rec coin from your recent rec drink purchase? Because I literally scanned a QR code, and within seconds, 140 million rec coin was deposited in my Base wallet. Zero friction. I mean, I haven't had it as frictionless experience in crypto in the 5-6 years I've been here. So yeah, we're not completely to the end state yet, but it feels like we're getting pretty darn close. And I think as the chains become the commodity and it just works, what for these leading chains, for the majors, the ones that aren't a custom use case, a very niche or hyper specific chain that's being built for something proprietary or a closed network or, the Texas Stock Exchange, if we're talking general use, I do see things going multi-chain. And then where's the majority of it take place? I think it's like, not saying that there's a barrier of entry or a real defensible moat, but I do think liquidity matters, capital matters. So I think those that are the Solanas, the Hyperliquids, the ETHs of the worlds today, I do think they have a competitive advantage moving forward because there's just more liquidity there. But when we think about like what are differentiating factors, what is the unique selling proposition of Solana if you're a builder today? And well, I mean, my first answer would be go multi-chain. But if you're going to launch somewhere, where do you choose to launch? And I genuinely struggle, like why I would go to Solana unless it's something like meme coin adjacent. If I want consumers, I think that I'm probably more likely to find consumers on something like Base App, both present and future consumers, than I am on Solana. Maybe not, but I don't know. Is if the DGen casino, the meme coin enjoyers, I don't know as if that's the demographic that a lot of these new institutions and new things launching on chain, I don't know if that's the demographic they're going to try to reach or the liquidity they're going to try to reach. Snacks, go ahead and get back in here.
Yeah, I think that Solana's pitch to devs is about vertically integrated marketing and distribution.
Okay.
And that seems to be what the Solana Foundation is saying that they do when compared to Ethereum. And I think that's what people, because everyone who makes a product is looking for help to market and distribute it. And the different chains offer different levels of resources for products and startups in their ecosystem. They offer, it's easier to get grants to do games. Some it's easier to get investments to do, DeFi, right? And I think that's what's going to drive devs to different ecos more than anything is the awareness of how that chain is going to support their product. And everybody just wants users.
Yep. I don't disagree. Snacks, I do. Does tomorrow, Thursday, or Friday morning good for you to come on and do a quick Pizza Dow spiel? We'll do it before we run over and a little more peak time on the show.
I would love that. Yeah, tomorrow or Thursday would be great. Quick plug here is just globalpizza.party. Find your local pizza party for Friday.
Perfect. Awesome. Yeah, either one. You tell me Thursday or tomorrow or Thursday. We'll make it work. And one other thing I want to show. I saw Pino. I think it's Cairo jumped up on stage. We'll go to you here in a second. I just wanted to flash. I talked about those V1 punks. 45 V1 punk sales in the last 24 hours. Maybe provenance really matters, says Tick. 45 sales of V1 punks in the last 24 hours. That's not nothing.
I'm sorry. I gotta break in on this one, okay? Because people say provenance matters, and yes, it is cool that V1 punks are trading. But when we're talking about provenance as a CryptoPunk, longtime CryptoPunk holder, right? The provenance is the market, and it is what we built trading these V2 CryptoPunks, which I hesitate to even call them, for years, right? The other ones have no value. If they're like, I think of them as a historical artifact and like a misprint, and they have zero value.
I mean, market would disagree. The market says the value of them right now is.
If CryptoPunks weren't what they are, that's what I'm saying. then the misprints have no value, right? So when it comes to provenance, I do think provenance is not just about origin stories. Provenance is also about chain of custody and market history.
I am curious, what has that ratio been historically? Because right now it's like V2 punks 34 ETH, V1 punks 3.41 ETH. So it's basically 10 to 1. Is that normal? Has it been more of a spread than that, less of a spread than that throughout the last since
I think it was above that when they first launched, and there was a lot of like hype and hopium that they were like the real CryptoPunks, which I think people have accepted where they kind of sit. 10% is honestly what I generally tell people is that's like my feeling generally that I've talked to people about, like, because yeah, I mean, sure, 10%.
Yeah, so we might be at the top of that range, and I think next time if I see them at trading at 2 ETH and V2s are at 34 ETH, I might. That's when I'll make my move. I'm not going to do it right now, following a 35% daily pump and a 45. I don't even know if it was a sweep. I need to go back, but and look. But I still would like. Yes, it's a misprint, but they were still first. You know, you can't dispute, like they came before the V2s. That's why they're called V2s and V1s.
You just feel like you have a punk for 10%.
Yes, exactly. Yes, I want the discount punk. 100%. I want the discount punk. I also think right now, like the social contract, most would agree. I mean, the market agrees that the V2 punks are worth more because that's what Matt and John intended to go to the public. 50 years from now, I don't know. Maybe the market views things differently. I think could they both go up from here? Yeah, for sure. But if you're telling me I can get a punk that is on chain, it's a real punk for 10% of the cost of the second version of the punks after they made the corrections. I don't know. Like there's a thesis that I could be sold on that's a better investment and there's more upside there than on one that's already priced in as like, this is the socially acceptable. This is the one, not the misprint.
Look, as a I also have to say that beyond the provenance and the market history, right? You know, the blue background of punks is iconic.
Yep.
And the purple background, you know, it's okay.
Yep. I kind of like the purple. I kid. Pino, GM, what brought you up this morning?
Yeah, what up, Chris? You're right. Cairo is dead. Long live Pino. So I just did a little bit of starting like a new chapter in my life. Thanks for bringing me up.
Happy new chapter.
Yeah, thank you so much. I have a lot of things I want to share, but I think two main things is just like following up on the discussion right now. I just came back to Europe from a 1 month Asia trip, and it's so incredible to see that like the world is so different. We're living on the same planet, but like depending where you are, like what is normal and what people are doing is so tremendously different. So I think the whole like punks discussion, like I think everything is perception, right? Everything in this world is perception. And one clear example, like you talked about the infrastructure and stuff, the amount of money that in Asia flows through Tron chain, which I was never a fan of, is horrendous. It's crazy. Like people are like sending money back and forth. There's like Chinese casinos in Cambodia, again, the casino thing. People just go there with their Tron wallet and pick up thousands of dollars every couple of minutes, but also for like daily stuff, right? So I never really cared about that chain.
Same.
But you got to acknowledge there is a lot of stuff happening in other parts of the world, right?
Yep.
So yeah, it's
I try to give myself some air cover.
Still trying to digest like what is like normal and what is not, depending where you are on this planet.
I agree. I try to give myself some air cover, at least an out, where I did say this is a very US centric view and an approach and take on this, because I don't think I've ever done anything on Tron chain. Maybe bought some stickers in Telegram, or I think I attempted to buy some stickers and didn't get it. I have like, I'm sure I have some stickers that are on. I don't know. Like same thing with Binance Smart Chain. I've never done it, but it's the data is
It's
there.
probably Ton though, right? It's
Ton,
like
yes,
TON,
Ton and
it's
Tron,
not
two different things.
TRO,
Yeah.
right?
My bad. But there, case in point, how uninformed I am on both Ton and Tron and Binance Smart Chain. Like, I have zero desire to go explore on those chains, but clearly there's a lot of volume. There's a lot of users. It's very, very real in different parts of the world. And I wonder, we'd say, yes, it's a multi-chain future. Is it across the board? Is it, or do we see these are the 3 chains that are tapped as the multi-chain winners in the East, and these are the 3 that are tapped as the multi-chain winners in the West? I don't know the answer, but you're very right. Like I am at least aware of my blind spots when it comes to the international markets. And I mean, even like if you were to ask me without, I know the answer, but if I didn't know the answer, what is bigger and does more volume and is more profitable between Tether and Circle, I would guess Circle, but it's not even close. It's not even close. Tether dwarfs Circle from volume and fee generation. And it's just, I can't, like, if I did 100 stablecoin transactions, if I received payments and sent payments in stablecoins last year 100 times, like 95 of them were USDC. The other 5 were in USDT. Not even close. But yet, I'm in the minority when it comes to global transactions and global volume. Go ahead, Snacks.
And I wouldn't say it's East-West here. I would say it's the global South. And I think I would argue that USDT on Tron may have the best product market fit in crypto. It's crazy. I mean, all over Latin America, all over Asia, all over Africa. It's absolutely massive. We know this at Pizza Duck because we receive payments in USDT on Tron in those regions that people request it.
Interesting. Why do you think that is? Any guess?
Cheap, and I have no idea how they marketed it so well. I would be really interested to learn, but for whatever reason, I think people want dollars. People want dollars in these countries. And it's the easiest way to get dollars, and it's super cheap to transact. It's really fast. They don't have any, they don't know anything necessarily about like what Tron is or like who Justin Sun is or any of that, right? I think it's dollars. You can send it, and it works.
Where did they originate from?
You mean Tron?
Yeah.
Man, Justin Sun is kind of like, he's been around. I mean, Tron is from the last cycle. Tron is from like it's like right after ETH, I think, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like pretty shortly after ETH.
I was thinking Hong Kong. That's where I guess Justin Sun is based in Hong Kong now, but between there and says he maintains a heavy footprint in the UAE, specifically Dubai. But his permanent residence is in Hong Kong. Tron was founded in Singapore by Justin in 2017, July of 2017, and then launched nonprofit Tron Foundation. But yeah, that's wild to me. And if anyone has a good Tron book, I've read a few books on Ethereum, a few on Bitcoin. I've never went down the Tron history, and part of it was like I just didn't take Justin Sun as like a serious person, I guess, or it was spun to me like it was mostly just FUD and not, and then forgetting about like what the current suit with World Liberty Fi and all that interactions there. It's just something I never took serious, and hard not to take the data serious. Like, and to hear you say like, oh, they won the South, they won Latin America. It's like, how do they do that out of Singapore?
Like, it's not, the battle's not over, but I will tell you that it is absolutely used by retail, for retail transactions. And that's just not something you can say about most chains and most stables. They're used for DeFi.
Yeah, it's wild. Gary and Snacks, really appreciate you joining and helping me get through this conversation today. Same thing, you, Pino. Closing thoughts. Go ahead and get back in here, and then we'll get everyone out of here today.
I just want to say thanks for asking these questions, and thanks for not just making statements, but helping us think through how to do the research. And I think it's really powerful, and we're, stimulated not just by commentary, but, sort of, it's like the coffee with Captain Class, if you will. And if I can ask Snacks, what was that pizza website so people can get free pizza on Friday?
Oh, leave it to the domainer. Thank you, Gary. It's a good domain, everybody. globalpizza.party.
Globalpizza.party. There you go. It's a fine looking website, might I say, as well. And 50,000 plus expected attendees, 420 plus cities worldwide. This will be the 6th annual party. We'll talk more about Pizza DAO and the Global Pizza Party tomorrow or Thursday with Snacks. We'll get a full room in here for him to give it the proper love and attention it deserves. But yeah, May 22nd, only 3 days to go, and looking forward to that one. Pino, go ahead, final thoughts, and then we'll close things down.
Final thought, I think I missed the last AI space, but just real quick, when you're doing research or you're saying like, I need a book, if you're using Claude Code as a local CLI and ask Claude Code, are you running plain vanilla or are you using max capabilities with skills and using data scraping without APIs, it can be really like a 100x difference and really make your life a lot easier with research and getting information if you do it that way. But maybe that's a topic for the next AI Captain with Coffee.
Yep, no, I appreciate it, and appreciate all the kind words from all of you. Garrett was very, very kind. And I need to, I'm using 0.1% of the capabilities of AI today. I mean, I use both. Really, I mean, quite frankly, I use Claude and ChatGPT still daily for different things. I use Gemini, I use Grok, but I don't. And I mean, right now I have Cowork open, and I do use Claude Cowork. I've not really dived too much into Codex, despite Outer giving us an incredible tutorial recently in the War Room. But I need to do more. I know I've just begun to scratch the surface, and I shared earlier, I want to start another property, another show. I kicked around the idea of doing another retail venture. I mean, the part of the big driver in wanting to do more is I feel like I'm underutilizing AI in this technology. I feel in the past when I built in retail, I built in hard mode, and there's just so much more for the small medium business to so much easier to do things that you weren't able to do as a bootstrap startup previously. And the best way for me to learn, as opposed to what can I use AI for today, is actually build something and build something else and use it. It'll force me to enhance my AI skill set and use it more, learn it more if I'm doing something outside of what I'm already doing today. So, yep, good conversation. We will, you mentioned the AI segment. We need to find a reoccurring date. We were doing that on Mondays, and it doesn't line up the best for Bunch. So we're gonna pick another day here, but we'll bring it back for sure. It's a popular segment and good conversation. Similar to today's. I appreciate the kind words, Gary. We really are. I definitely don't have all the answers. I got some information, and I'm very close to the space, so I'll see a lot of news and stuff in real time, and then share that on the show.
Is the best student, Cap.
But I want to learn. This is what we started the show. I wanted to, it started out with what's the hot NFT min of the day, but it was going down that rabbit hole. It was listening to other shows on a daily basis and consuming as much content as possible and learning in real time. And it's why I'm so grateful for this audience and this community. Is almost every day someone, like you guys jump up today and share things that I didn't know, or we have a subject matter expert or a founder or a team member will join us and add value to the conversation and educate me on things I didn't know. In 1,163 shows, I'm certain that I've learned more hosting this show than any one of you has learned by tuning in, because I've been here every day. And I very rare that a show goes by that I don't pick up a new nugget of information, a new tidbit, a new skill or tactic or some alpha. And that wouldn't be possible without all of you. So greatly appreciate it. Thank you to all of our guest speakers today. Thank you everyone who contributed in the chat, both in the YouTube streets, the abstract streets. And as Gary said, the War Room is often, it pops off throughout the day. But during the show, it's a lot of co-producers in there helping me through talking points and pulling. Even Steve, who wasn't able to join us today, helped me with a few of those Wemby tweets that I was looking for. He didn't even know it, but we're still completing each other's sentences, whether he's on the show or not. He was queuing up, co-hosting, co-producing. Posted exactly what I was looking for, and he didn't even know what I was looking for. So we continue to. We're just two autists connected by our some sort of telepathy, I guess. So they say. V1 CryptoPunks sold for 16 ETH, and 45 of those sold. Don't go chase the pump. If you got one, maybe consider selling the pump. But I'll tell you, if they do dip, I am. I mean, Snacks called me out on it. I'm interested in a V1 because I just want the discounted punk. I'm not in the position to be dropping 34 ETH on a JPEG at this point, but I can drop 3 ETH on a JPEG. So much more attainable short-term goal than is the punk for me in terms of what buckets I'm willing to tap into for more JPEGs. With that, thank you all again. We'll be back tomorrow at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Like always, we will have some alpha on Bitcoin Pizza Day and the Global Pizza Party either tomorrow or the next day. I repinned up the reminder for tomorrow's show. If you've not hit that, just scroll up to the Jumbotron, smash that reminder, and I hope you all have a wonderful day. We'll be back tomorrow. Thanks again. Have a wonderful, wonderful day, everyone.